the body and back up top with a combination to the head. Can he finish Caudle in round one? Caudle is wobbly. Is he gonna go down? Oh my goodness! Oh, and out of the ring goes Caudle head first.
Hi everyone, my name is Lin Huynh. I'm the founder and host of Fame to Fame. We're here today with current professional boxer, WBC, US, NBC, silver heavyweight champion, and someone who holds an undefeated record of 20 wins with 14 knockouts. Please help me in welcoming Cassius Chaney. How you doing, Cassius?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. You know, it's cool.
Absolutely, man. I definitely was excited to reach out to you, but at the same time, I can't be on his bad side because that's one thing I don't want to be part of.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, I'm cool, man. So it's better to be on my good side, you know.
Sounds good. Well, hey, man, you're from the DMV area. You're born in Baltimore, from my understanding. You moved to Connecticut around the age of 14, I think, where your grandmother lives at. Can you just talk about, how was life growing up in DMV, moving up there, and how'd you get into boxing?
I got into boxing after I graduated school, and yeah, I just always thought I would end up doing it, I just never had the time, or really, I just never met anybody. Well, I met Joe Frazier when I was young, but
right.
It wasn't like I met kids that was doing it, So I just played basketball, you know what I mean? But growing up, that's all I used to do was watch fighting movies, and I used to watch everything and play basketball. So that's all I knew, and that's really all I know, really, outside of, I don't know, I guess working with kids and stuff. But other than that, it's literally like all I know,
Yeah, I think you hit on that. So you went on to play college ball, I believe, at Division II up in Connecticut. Did you have any desire at that time to get into boxing? Or when you said after school, are you referring to after college, after your basketball career? That's when you got into it? And did you have aspiration to become a basketball player? Like, why choose boxing between basketball?
Well, I was playing basketball, and I think some of it was like, part of it was just like, one, it's a team game.
Yeah.
I played really well. But I didn't belong at the D2. I was a Division I player.
Right.
Like, I really was. Like, I can honestly say that when I look back, and I'm like, I was a D1 player. But what happens is that, like, just, relationships and things like that, that type of stuff matters. If, my coach, and when I went to prep school, they had a good relationship. So my prep school coach did that, my college coach, a favor. You know what I mean? And it kind of like, it's helped me for boxing, but it kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth in regards to basketball at the time. Like, I averaged like 19 as a freshman,
right?
19 and like 9 as a freshman. And you mean to tell me you that selfish to want to keep me here?
Right.
You want to, like, you didn't see like, yo, matter of fact, yo, you don't belong here. Let me get you out of here,
Right.
And I just felt like, I could have went overseas, but then it was like, you know what? I think I can fight, man. I know I can fight. I just have to really like focus on it and stick with it, and that's what I did.
What was the steps you took to become a professional fighter?
I really didn't even know boxing was in New London, the town where my grandma lived. I really didn't know, but I think what happened was I Googled it or something. I went online, I just looked up boxing gyms. I'm like, damn, there's one downtown? Like, what the heck? I never even knew about it, heard of it. I never met any kids that was doing it, none of that. And I mean, I went to school in New Haven, and they known for having amateur fights at the time. I mean, Chad Dawson was from there.
Right.
And I never crossed paths with him. I never like met any fighters or nothing. It was like the craziest. Because I know if I would have found out in college, I would have did it.
Right.
Like I would have just did it. I would have been like, yo, I got practice. Same way people going to fraternities and sororities, that would have been my fraternity.
Right.
That would have been me. I would have been creeping out, going to boxing practice, going to boxing training, and then going to basketball practice. That's what I would have been doing. So it was a good thing I never like just mingled or crossed paths with any fighters, because I would have ended up doing it. And on this particular day, I Googled it. So then I drove by the gym and I parked, and I was going to go in, and I saw a particular trainer who was actually like, I call him like my uncle now, Freddie Weaver. and he looked mad. He was walking to the gym, man, and he looked mad. Like he saw me, but he ain't smiling nothing. I'm like, damn, this. I said, nah, I'm not going in today. I was like, nah. Yeah, I was like, nah, it's too obvious. Like, it's too obvious. People going in there, they're gonna look at me and be like, yo, you here to fight? I was like, nah. So then I went home and I had the urge. I just called and I said, you know, what time the gym open and all that. You know, they told me. And I said, I'll stop in tomorrow. You know, I didn't say my name or anything. And then I stopped in and all the coaches was at the front door for some reason. It was like they was waiting. And I introduced myself and it was pretty much a wrap. I just stayed in the gym at Wayland City Boxing. At the time it was called Strike Zone. You know, it was cool. It was a cool start, you know.
That's pretty cool, man. You know what, one thing I noticed about basketball athletes, and I played sports at one time too, and I always felt like basketball, you can adapt to other sports. Like you hear about basketball players that become like a tight end for football. You see basketballs playing like soccer. I think that's one thing about basketball athletes. Like I think it's because you're playing both sides of the court that you're so adaptable in anything you play. You're just all around athletic. So that's one thing I definitely noticed that definitely helps you with other sports.
You're right. And I think a big part is you have to learn plays.
Yep.
So you have to learn is even though plays ain't necessarily written out in numbers per se, like it's still math, right? You still angles and, you know, screens and you got to go this side, you got to go that side. It's still the same thing. So learning plays, and if you a person that remembers plays or remembers other people's positions at the play, I think it's much you can get into it a little bit easier. You know, that's why football players can get into boxing. But I always say this about football players. They've been getting hit already.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. That's where
wear and tear. Wear and tear.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember your first fight? And can you kind of like walk through what were you thinking? Like, I mean, I feel like, you know, for boxing it's called sparring when you're practicing, but when you're actually in the ring for your first fight and someone like starts attacking you for the first swing, like what was your first mindset? Like, how was that?
My first amateur fight was against a guy named Chris Arich, and I'll never forget this, man. Like, it was like we've been waiting on this. Not we, but I was just waiting to get a fight for like six months. But I had to wait until the Golden Gloves. So I'm like, damn, I gotta wait till the gloves. I'm fighting novice at the time, so the coaches was just like, let's go to watch the fights. You know, we go to watch the fights. I have a bye. It's only 3 of us, but I get the first bye for some reason. You know, I'm like, damn. All right, cool.
Right.
So I get to watch, and it was kind of, it was like a good advantage for me because I got to watch, right?
Right.
And I went with my boys. I went with the coaches. One of my boys with me, and this kid knocked this dude out, man, like right in front of me, like boom. I'm like, oh damn, I gotta fight this dude. I'm like, damn. And he had like 9 fights or something. He had like 8 or 9 fights.
Okay.
And he had lost in like the finals of the year before. So he was trying to win it this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm mad, like, damn, yo, all right, I know, okay, it's cool. I know what to do, like, sort of. So the first fight, man, I was like, all footwork, just moving around him. Right. I said, you know what? I'm going to steal the first 2 rounds. I'm going to win the first 2. And then the third round, just be defensive. Just, you know, because I knew I would get tired just from the environment. Mm-hmm. You know, just from the energy. The energy was different. It wasn't basketball. So basketball, I know how to, like, you can get to the line. You can, you know what I mean? You can foul and get a break. But this was like, man, all right. So the first 2 rounds I won easily. And the third round, I would say he won. But it was just like, because I just went defensive mode and just moved around, you know? And I said, all right, once I won that, I said, all right, I can win this whole thing now. Like, I can win it. And I went on to win the novice Golden Gloves my first year. And it was really off of like 5-6 month training. Yeah. You know, and be honest with you, it wasn't like I was sparring a lot. It was more off of, I just would go back, you know, like I still do it sometimes, a lot of times now. I go back to watch and I'll remember certain instances that another fighter's gone through, and I'll say that's what I would do in that situation. If somebody throwing that punch at me, that's what I have to do. Right. And most of the time it works. You know, a lot of the times it works. You know, I'll just watch and I say, all right, and that's what I did.
I think they talk about that in any sport, man. It's just watch film. You kind of see not only what you do to make yourself better, but your opponents as well. So I definitely think you touched on that. So your record, man, you have an impressive record. You're 20-0, 14 knockouts. Like, what do you do to kind of keep focused and ready? And because I feel like when you're on the top, everyone has their bullseye on you. So how do you keep yourself prepared?
I don't know, man. I just stay. You know, I don't really like do the calling out. I just stay in my lane. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through a lot of stuff, man. This boxing game has been like, I can't even say it's up and down. I can only say, be honest with you, it's been like this, like even. Like, like I just know sometimes I'm gonna hit some like rocks, you know?
Right.
But for the most part, I'm always like, you know what? I'll figure it out. I'll figure out something. You know, being 20-0, man, is great, you know, because like, I mean, I ain't meet before I started, I didn't meet a 20-0 fighter or nothing, you know, so I didn't know, I didn't have any type of like mindset on being 20-0. I just say, you know, when I get to 5-0, go for 10-0. When I get to 10-0, go for 50. Now I'm at 20-0, 25-0, you know? Yeah, the 5-year process, you know, the 5 mark, you know, so, you know, I just look at it like it's a sport. You know, I just have to train hard, you know, always strive to win, you know, and just stay focused. You know, like I said, I just stay even kill. I don't smoke, I don't drink, you know, I don't party or nothing. So I just kind of just stay within myself. And this is like my college, basically. You know, I went through 4 years. I ain't do nothing in college, nothing. So now I'm like, the little bit of tension, I still gotta like still hold it in.
Right.
Because like in college, I got attention because I was the best player on the team, but I didn't bask in it because I was always scared to go out and stuff like that. Now I'm a little bit more like, all right, I know if I do step out, I gotta have such and such with me and people.
Right.
So it's a little bit different now.
For sure. Yeah, I think as you know, as you get fame, as you get older, I mean, you think about all the experience and what you have to lose. So you got to make sure you're around the right people, around the right environment, and just know that any moment you can just lose it. So
yeah, for sure.
So leading up to any fight, what is your preparation for it? Like, what's your workout like? What's your diet? Like you say, you don't drink or smoke, which is great. Can you kind of just walk through that?
My diet is pretty much like, right now I get like meal plan done, meal prep, and it's pretty much like cod, salmon, and chicken, you know. Sometimes red meat, but not a lot. I like to follow like different guys' diet, nutrition. Like The Rock eats a lot of cod. So I said, you know what? Let me try it, you know.
You're doing something right.
Yeah, but now I'm like, damn, yo, that's all he eat, man. Damn, man. But then he has his like little cheat meal with the waffles and all that. But I'm like, I can't do that. You know, I can't go that crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good. And then we training as of right now. We're in camp. I'm training in Philly with Stephen Breadman Edwards, and it's just been like total, like just structure and focus. You know, like it's just different. I'm learning, and you know, I've been waiting on this type of situation. You know, and where I can go into a fight with a trainer. Not saying any other trainers I couldn't really, but I think he and I's personality are more similar. Like he came from a basketball background to coaching boxing. So it's like, damn, what's the odds of that? You know what I mean? And I think this is like a person that I would say like I'm going into the fight and he hate losing just as much as I hate losing.
Right.
You know, where some people, you know, if they making money and you lose, is okay. You know, and that's something that I can't comprehend. I don't really get it. So I was saying this has been focused, just working hard, and you know, me getting used to it and implementing stuff that I do well. So.
No, that's important. I mean, if anytime you have to build a team around you, I think it's good to have people that you trust, like you said, like win or lose, they got to be there. They got to be on the same path as you. But I think him being a background of basketball, he understands your body type, and I think that definitely probably helps too, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Because like I can go to him and say, listen, such and such is bothering me today. He'll understand.
Right.
Because I'm a big guy. You know, some people look at me like, oh, you athletic. I'm like, dog, I know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but the reality is I played basketball for a long time.
Right.
So there's certain things we gotta alternate. That's it.
Right.
Like
Right.
me running 6 miles or 5 miles out on the cement ain't gonna benefit me. My legs are gonna be shot.
Right.
Why I can go walk that 6 miles at a good speed, well, you know what I mean? And I'm still getting that sweat and I'm still getting that leg strength from walking, you know what I mean? So it's like little stuff like that.
Right.
You know, I could say that I could ask him about, and he is, all right, you know, how about give me 3 miles? All right. You know what I mean? Or how about just be on your feet? You know, go do something on your feet.
Right.
All right. You know, so, you know, you got to have open dialogue, man, because everything don't work for everybody. You watch Tyson Fury jog, he walking basically.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nobody complaining.
Different. You gotta adapt to them. Yep. Everyone's
different. 100%.
So what's your most memorable moment? For me, you're probably gonna know what I'm gonna say. When you knocked out Caudle out of the ring. Honestly, when I first saw that highlight, I think it went viral. I was just like, did he really just knock that dude out of the ring? And I was like, for a second, I was concerned about it. Like, damn, I hope he's all right out there. And he actually came back. So I respect that. He came back in the ring, but you dominated that fight. What was your most memorable experience? Because that was definitely mine.
Most memorable boxing experience, fighting wise. I guess fighting wise, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't that. You know, yeah, I would say that because we were supposed to fight maybe like a year and a half before, and he had been talking so much trash.
Yeah.
And if people don't know, you know, he could box, man. He could fight. You know what I mean? People don't like didn't look up the guys he fought before me. You know, he fought 2 undefeated guys before me. He got a draw with one of them. So it was like, all right, he's going to come in and he's going to try to prove a point because he didn't get this fight with me before. And I was more mad that he had said like, oh, I got a body bag waiting for him and all that. So I had just been sitting on that for a long time. And when I tapped him with the right hand, I noticed that maybe he looked like he was a little shook up. So I just said, forget it. Let me fire it. And everything, you know, came as planned.
That was a crazy moment to watch when I saw it. And it was at MGM too, which is right down the street. So I was like, that's pretty cool. He did something right in the backyard of where we're from. So I'm sure a bunch of your buddies and family were pretty hyped about that.
Yeah, that's what made it more cool. It was right in DC. It was right in Maryland, man. It was like, damn, out of all places. Okay, I guess nobody want to fight me in Maryland now because, like, you know, that energy was crazy. That was different. Yeah, that was different. Yeah,
so,
that was different.
What was probably like the best advice you received from somebody?
Because I saw the boxing, man, I received a lot of advice, but I would say like, oh man, Bernard Hopkins gave me great advice. I mean, my trainer, Breadman, gives me great advice every day I see him. So I don't know. It depends. What you mean, like
just for like boxing?
Advice?
Like for boxing, like you're a young guy, you're undefeated. Like, what was probably the most memorable when you think about someone that gave you advice? Sometimes you always remember what that one person said.
I give you one right now that I'm hearing all the time. And my Breadman, my coach is always saying, "Listen, after you get in tip-top shape, don't let yourself get out of shape.
Yeah,
don't let it happen. Just stay with your regimen, stay in tip-top shape. Boom, don't let it happen." So that's my advice to myself from here on out. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to get in shape especially when you're a big guy.
Right.
You know? And really mainly because of how he wants me to box.
Right.
And how he wants me to be on my feet and on my toes. Yeah, you can come back and be out of shape and fight just going forward.
Right.
But you can't come back and be on your feet and be athletic if you haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing. So
I like that.
I would say that is the top right now.
No, I like that because it's hard to get it in shape, but it's so easy to get out of shape. So getting back into that, I know for COVID, for me, I didn't go to the gym for a few months like most people. The gym shut down. That was tough getting back into it. So I definitely can hear that where he's coming from with that.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that.
The state of boxing right now as a sport, I think when you look through the decades, like the 80s, the 90s, even now, it's very different. I think nowadays you hear more about MMA fighting. What do you think about the state of boxing?
It's hard to say, man. Like I think it's good. I don't mind like the celebrity fights and stuff. I just mind like I don't know. It's like you get celebrity fights and these guys make a certain amount of money, and that's cool, whatever. But then you get a situation like you got. Now I'm gonna give you an example. You have about 4 or 5 guys right now in the heavyweight division that are all up and comers, but we're not being profiled like up and comers. I would say Jared Anderson is. I would say Jared Anderson pretty much is, because he's the youngest out of the group. But it's like marketing is marketing. Right. I don't really think it matters your age when it comes to marketing. Like I'm marketable, and I know that at some point it's going to happen. But I'm also saying to myself, like, sometimes I'm thinking, like, damn, what about this person? Why isn't this person more marketable? Or it's only because like here, it's almost like they want you to. It's like they want you to struggle so much before before they say you can do this or do that. It's crazy because if you're 20 and on the UK, if I'm 20 and on the UK, I'd be freaking on freaking billboards and shit, Right. Like, so it's like, it's just a weird dynamic here in America, America boxing, I would say, and like how they look at like the black athlete / heavyweight is different. And boxing period, right? Like boxing period. Back in the days, yeah, they're gonna market you because all right, it ain't no risk there. We're gonna make so much money off you, we'll market you. Right. Because really, they can rob you.
There's so many boxers nowadays. Like when you go to gym, everyone's trying to become a boxer and a fighter. Do you think it's because there's so many of them? They think that you guys are replaceable?
Well, that and because boxers are smarter. Yeah. Who wants to deal with somebody that's smart?
Right.
Nobody really wants to deal with that. Like, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying. Let's just say you got $10 million and you want to go manage a fighter.
Right.
You want to make. If you invest $100,000 into that fighter, you want to make your 200 or 300 back. Mm-hmm. But you don't want that. You don't really want that fighter to be like smart. Like, yo, you know what I mean? You don't want him challenging you because you put money into him.
Right.
So sometimes, sometimes it's like they forget that we fighters, man. We go crazy. We think crazy. Like we're gonna ask questions. Like if I don't ask questions, I realized today. If I don't ask questions in my training session, that's not a good training session for me.
Right.
Because now I mentally start to go through the motions, sort of. Right. Now, when I ask a question and he showed me, all right, I get it.
Right.
I remember it and I get it. But if I go through the whole training and I'm just in a mood where I don't want to ask no questions, what did I learn? I ain't ask shit. So it's like, you gotta ask, man. And I just feel like fighters right now, you got Jermaine Franklin, you got myself, you got Damani Rock, you got Jared Anderson, you got Michael Coffey, you guys have Trey Lipe Morrison, Jeremiah Milton, Michael Hunter still. You got fighters that are in America that could be like known.
Right.
It's like, it's just weird. It's just boxing is just weird, man. So I just stay in my lane though. That's all I can do.
I like that. I think that's for anybody. It's important to stay in your lane. Everything will work out. So when a lot of people think about boxing, some big names that really pop out. I know you're a heavyweight. They're not this category as you, but like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Fury's heavyweight, Wilder. When you think about those guys, like what's your perspective on them?
Mayweather, great. Arguably the best ever. Who else you say? Pacquiao, man, he one of the best ever too. He can. And if he beats Spence, which I don't think he will, it's gonna be hard for Spence to beat him. Mm-hmm. But I think if he was to pull it out, man, that might be one of the greatest wins in history. Like, yeah, that would be.
If Mayweather and Pacquiao would fall at their prime, when both of them are at their prime, what do you think would have happened? I mean, there's always debates about that, but based from from your eyes and your lens?
Depends what type of Pacquiao we talking about. Are we talking about clean Pacquiao? Or are we talking about what kind of Pacquiao we talking about?
I'm talking about
like
I'm talking when they're both at their height. Like, I mean, Mayweather's undefeated. We all know, but we all know through the years he's not the same boxer as he was. So I'm talking about when Pacquiao was at his prime, when Mayweather as at his prime. Who do you think? Who would you have picked? It's
you know what? Honestly, not even all like even if there wasn't drug testing, Floyd Mayweather would have won.
okay.
I know, and the reason why I say that is because like he knows how to slow the match down.
Right.
Like, and that's what you saw when Pacquiao fought Marquez. Marquez sort of know how to slow it down in spots.
Yeah.
So I would say it would be harder. It would have been harder. It would have been a different fight. But
Right.
I would say like Floyd, when he was like trying to knock people out and stuff, and then with his defense, it would have been hard. It would have been a tough fight for either one. Like, but I would say this. How about this? If both of them fought in their prime,
Right.
if both of them fought together at their prime, it probably would have been a trilogy fight, and they probably wouldn't have been boxing this long today.
I see.
Because it would have been hard. They would have both took like some real damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's a good perspective. I like that. Yeah, I agree. Okay. How about Fury? What do you think about Fury?
Good, man. Very good, man. Like I like Fury. You know, I like him in the sense that like he was cool with me when I was out there. He's a good boxer. Do I like? But some things, man, is just like the glove thing. No glove bends like that. Let's be real. No glove bends like that.
Right.
And the whole catching COVID and then being cleared of it 3 days later is weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he flies back to England. So I mean, I don't like. I get Wilder being mad and stuff, you know, and he said a lot of like different things that make people think like, man, what are you talking about? But this is like weird, you know, like you 2 weeks out from a fight.
Yeah.
You test positive, but then you able to fly 3 weeks later. I thought you got a quarantine.
Yeah, doesn't add up. I hear you.
Yeah, it don't make sense. So I think Fury's good, man. I mean, he's arguably one of the best fighters, heavyweight fighters we've seen.
Yeah.
You know, no, let me take that one back. Fury is one of the good talents out there, but after Klitschko's reign, that reign that he just had was so long. It's like, I mean, you gotta do something of that magnitude, like defenses and all that. But Wilder's good too. Wilder's smart, and he's good too. So it's a lot of good boxers out there.
A lot
Ortiz,
of good boxers. Yeah.
You know,
who would you
Joshua,
consider is the greatest pound for pound ever?
Ever? Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Cassius like
I, for whatever reason, I figured you said. I don't know why I thought that. I just figured.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going with Ali because I factor in pound for pound, but I factor in pound for pound in life too. Like I gotta factor all that in because like when he fought, he was really like an enemy of the state. Like he was really mad at him.
He made an impact in the ring and outside the ring for sure.
Yeah, like a real impact, not playing around, none of that. He made like a legitimate reason, you know, standing up, boom, 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 and a real impact. And he did it in the ring. And, you know, he pretty much stayed out of trouble too. Right. You know, he never really heard nothing about it. So I would say Ali.
Yeah. Definitely a big Ali fan over here, but Tyson's my guy, man. Tyson's my dude.
Yeah, I mean Tyson's there too, but I love, man. I enjoy Mike Tyson too, man. It's just hard for me, it's hard for me to say Mike Tyson because, like, out of all the Hall of Famers, he only beat one, I think.
Yeah,
and I think that was Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh, Larry Holmes was like 39 or something.
He was older, yeah.
Or 40. So it's like it's hard for me to say he would be like all time pound for pound.
I'm not saying he's the greatest or anything. He's just my favorite. Like when I watch like videos or clips and like reminiscing back, like Tyson's always sticks out. But Muhammad Ali can't beat on it, man.
Yeah, Tyson up there though, as far as like I don't know how you say it. Like what's that called when you the transitioning the game of boxing.
Right.
Tyson did that.
For sure.
Mm.
I know.
Tyson did that.
So what's your thoughts when people talk about the danger of boxing? Like, does that ever, like, I know, I mean, people talk about all the time. I don't know if you go to doctors and they're like, maybe you should take a little slow. Like, what's your thoughts on it?
I don't have any thoughts on it. I don't, I'm gonna be real. I don't even care.
Right.
Like this is why. I mean, I care. Like,
you don't wish anything negative to happen, but you don't let that.
Yeah, I don't wish anything negative happen on anybody. Like, I care. Like, I want my health, but at the same time, it's like this is what we do.
Right.
And sometimes I see Pritchard Colin. You know him. The fighter that got hurt, man. Sometimes I'm like, dang, man.
Is that the one that passed? Like, did he pass away or?
No, he's still alive.
He's still alive?
He just got brain. I think he just got brain surgery or something. Brain surgery again, or scar surgery.
Okay.
And sometimes I see that, and I'm just like, man, like if that really came from the guy in his fight hitting him in the back of the head consistently, It's like, damn, But I'm like, when I see stuff like that, I'm kind of like, damn. But then again, I'm also a person that I feel like I do take care of myself.
Right.
And that's one of the first things I do. Anytime I feel like a person's behind me, I put my hand on top of my head. That's like the first thing I do, man.
Yeah.
Like, and because of that, and because of him, that's like the first thing I do. So that's the only time that it crosses my mind, maybe. Like when I see videos of him.
No, I hear you. No, I mean, everyone knows what they sign up for, right? When you're a boxer, if that really did scare you, you wouldn't have gotten into it. So I definitely hear where you're coming from.
I mean, you're going to win, you're going to lose, and it's, hey, look, if I'm fighting, I'm fighting. But people get into stuff in car accidents and stuff like that.
That's true.
So, hey, it's the business.
Hey, going back to some fun facts, like we hit it on a little bit earlier. So you played basketball back then. If you had to compare your game to somebody that's in the league now, who would you compare it to?
In the league now? Oh, man.
Or even before. Open the floor up to you. Prior or even now. Who's your game?
Before I would probably say like Paul Pierce.
All right.
Probably like Paul Pierce. Yeah, probably like that. Like big, skillful, strong. Yeah, could step outside, shoot the three. I had a nice mid-range. I would probably say like, similar to Paul Pierce.
That's a good one. He played for Wizards for a couple of years, so I didn't like him for a while until he came to DC.
Yeah, Paul Pierce, man, and really, he a Hall of Famer. He a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he going to the Hall of Fame for sure.
So who's your team?
My all-time team is the Sixers, but LeBron's my favorite player, and I'll say the Lakers, man. If they get Dame, it's over.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Are you a big Sixer fan because of Iverson?
Yeah, I grew up in the Iverson era.
Yeah.
We born on the same day. So
okay.
And actually, like people don't even know this. When I found out, I had just got a brand new Iverson index card. Player's card, and it was like a rookie year card or something. And my dad told me like, hey, y'all born on the same day. When you meet him tomorrow, tell him. And we went to like a carnival, and I told him. And after I got up and I'm walking away, he was like, hey, little man, Gemini. So that was the first time I learned what Gemini was because of him. You know what I mean? So dope. I was nervous as hell. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But I'll never forget it, man. It was like, dang, this dude, man. Out of everybody, I was the only person he talked to.
That's pretty cool. Honestly, man, I got the Washington Football Redskins here, but usually my favorite player, I usually have an Iverson back here. That's my all-time favorite player, man. So I'm with you on this. I'm a DC fan, but Iverson, being from Virginia, like 6 foot, if that, just dominated the league the way he did. I'm a big Iverson fan all day. Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Generational talent right there. AI, man, and oh man, AI, man, that's definitely my all-time favorite player.
Absolutely.
But LeBron right there too. LeBron right there.
Who's gonna win the finals?
Man, I want, I don't even know, man. I want to say the Suns are probably gonna get it. This might just be like a home court advantage type game.
Yeah.
But I kind of want the Bucks to get it because I'm close with Vin Baker and he's the assistant on that team.
Okay.
But then again, if CP3 don't win it this year, he'd never win a championship unless he go to LA.
Yeah.
So it's tough to say, man. But I don't know. I think if the Suns win tomorrow, they're gonna win it because I think it's just gonna be a flip flop, home game, home. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I'm just enjoying it. I'm just glad to see different teams make it. And like you said, Chris Paul have an opportunity. And Vin Baker, I knew he was a coach. He's an assistant coach there. So definitely room for them as well. He was a beast himself, man, back in the day.
Yeah, man. He was a dog. Vin was nice. Vinny was nice, man. Yeah, for sure.
Seattle days, definitely. So hey, just a couple more questions, man. So a big reason why I put this together is I think a lot of folks, they always have talent, but they might not have the support or the right people. And it's always nice, like kind of what you said, when you're growing up, you didn't really know any fighters or anything. So I think that would always be helpful for someone. So you being a professional you are now, know what you know, what are some advice you share with an amateur? And what would you share with a new professional boxer that just became pro?
Just stay positive, man. Go for it. Go for your dreams. Go for your goals that you want to go for. Because boxing is one of those sports people are not going to understand it, unless they grew up around it and they can show you. But if you're the first one doing it in your family or whatever, just go for it, man. Because like they'll learn as you learn,
Right.
But if you got to stick with it and you got to take it serious, and that's one thing I get to say. Like I've taken it serious. And, I don't play around about my career, that's one thing. I'll end the friendship because of my career, but, just take it serious, stay focused, and just stay positive, man. And, everything will work out for you.
I like that. So your upcoming bout is, I believe, on August 14th. It was just published a couple of days ago against Richard Rivera. Anything you want to share about that and any closing remarks from your end?
Oh no, I'm not fighting Richard Rivera. He's fighting the main event.
Oh, he's fighting the main event. Okay.
Yeah, me and Richie cool though. He's more of a cruiserweight, light heavyweight.
Okay.
But I'm waiting to find out, man. Hopefully we get an opponent narrowed down. Thank you to my promoter, Main Events, and my management. And hopefully we get something narrowed down this week coming up, and I can start locking in on an actual guy. We'll see. But so far, that's what I'm training for, August 14th, and I'll be ready.
Well, hey, man, I wish you best of luck. Someone be from the DMV after you and I connecting. You're a cool-ass guy, man. I'm definitely going to root for you. With that being said, any closing remarks from you before we wrap up?
Nah, man, just you can follow me at Cassius Chaney on all network, social media network. And go Ravens and Orioles and the Sixers.
I appreciate it. All right, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man.